Anger is not just an emotion. It is a thief. It steals your peace, your focus, your reputation, and your strength. One moment of anger can destroy what took years to build. But here's the truth. Anger doesn't control you. You control anger the moment you understand it. And today, you're about to learn how to take back that power. Think about the strongest people you admire. They don't react instantly. They don't explode. They don't allow others to control their emotions. They remain calm, in control, and emotionally unshakable. Not because life is easier for them, but because they have trained their minds to rise above anger. Imagine how different your life would be if nothing could trigger you, if no insult could break you, if no situation could make you lose control. Imagine becoming the person who responds with intelligence instead of emotion, power instead of panic, calmness instead of chaos. This isn't about suppressing anger. Suppression only makes it stronger. This is about mastering it, understanding it, redirecting it, transforming it into clarity, strength, and inner peace. If you're ready to live a life where anger no longer decides your actions, your relationships, or your destiny, then this journey is for you. Let's begin the powerful path to never get angry again. Step 1. Identify your triggers before they control you. Anger does not appear out of nowhere. It has roots, patterns, and predictable triggers. If you want to never get angry again, the first step is understanding exactly what causes that emotional explosion inside you. Most people think anger is about the situation, but the truth is, it's about the interpretation of the situation. Someone might speak loudly, ignore your message, disrespect your effort, or interrupt your plan, and instantly your mind reacts as if it's under attack. But the real power comes when you slow down and identify the source. What makes you angry the most? Is it feeling disrespected, feeling ignored, feeling out of control, feeling misunderstood, or is it when things don't go your way? When you understand the emotional root, you stop reacting blindly and start responding consciously. Start paying attention to the exact moments when your anger rises. Study your reactions like a scientist. Notice your body. Does your heartbeat speed up? Does your voice tighten? Do your thoughts become louder? Notice your environment. Who are the people around you? What words triggered you? What tone? What situation? When you become aware of these patterns, something magical happens. Anger loses its power over you. It becomes predictable. You start catching it before it controls you. Understanding your triggers does not make you weak. It makes you unstoppable. You cannot control the world, but you can control how your mind responds to it. And the moment you understand where your anger begins, you begin to master it. This awareness is the foundation of emotional strength, and without it, no anger control strategy will ever work. This is your first step toward unshakable inner peace. Step 2. Train your mind to pause. Before reacting, one of the most powerful skills you can ever develop is the ability to pause before reacting. This single habit separates calm, strong, emotionally intelligent people from those who let anger control their lives. When something triggers you, your mind instantly wants to fire back, defend itself, prove a point, or attack. But anger always pushes you toward the worst version of yourself. The pause, however, gives you access to your best version, the version that thinks clearly, chooses wisely, and protects your peace instead of destroying it. The moment you feel irritation rising, don't speak, don't react, Don't respond. Just pause. Take one deep breath. This tiny mental break interrupts the emotional explosion that usually happens inside your mind. It gives your logic time to return, your heart rate time to settle, and your awareness time to take control. This is not weakness. This is strength in its purest form. Anyone can shout. Anyone can get angry. But only the strong can stay calm long enough to think. During the pause, ask yourself one simple question. Is this worth my peace? 90% of the time, the answer is no. That 1-second reflection rewires your behavior. You'll start realizing how many battles you used to fight that were never worth fighting at all. Training your mind to pause is a daily discipline. Some days you'll do well, some days you'll slip, but every pause makes you more powerful. Over time, the things that once triggered you won't even bother you anymore. You'll become a calmer, wiser, more stable version of yourself, someone who doesn't bend under pressure, someone who never reacts emotionally, someone who owns their inner world completely. This pause is the beginning of real emotional mastery. Step 3. Rewire your thoughts to stay calm under pressure. Staying calm under pressure is not about being naturally peaceful. It's about training your mind to think differently. Most people explode in anger because they allow their thoughts to run wild. One small irritation becomes a storm inside their head. Why is this happening? Why is this person disrespecting me? Why can't things go my way? Anger grows the moment your thoughts lose control. But the strongest people in the world don't think like that. They rewire their inner dialogue. They replace emotional reactions with powerful, calm reasoning. And you can do the same. Whenever pressure hits you, your mind creates a story. That story decides whether you stay calm or get angry. If your story says, "This is unfair," you react emotionally. But if your story says, "This is a test, and I will respond with strength," your entire energy changes. You take back control. You stop feeding the anger and start feeding the solution. Calmness isn't weakness. It's strategy. It helps you see options that anger hides from you. Rewiring your thoughts starts with awareness. The moment you feel tension rising, don't follow your emotional thoughts. Question them. Ask yourself, does this deserve my peace? Is this worth losing control over? Will this matter tomorrow? These questions instantly interrupt negative thinking and give you space to breathe, think, and respond like a leader. The truth is simple. Pressure doesn't make you angry. Your interpretation does. Change the way you interpret challenges, and you change the way you respond. When you train your mind to stay logical, calm, and focused even in chaos, anger loses its power over you. You become someone who cannot be shaken, no matter what stands in your way. Step 4. Build emotional control. Like high performers don't avoid pressure. They master their mind so pressure cannot break them. While most people explode at the smallest inconvenience, high performers stay composed because they understand one powerful truth. Emotional control is a skill, not a personality trait. And like any skill, the more you train it, the stronger it becomes. If you want to never get angry again, you must start thinking like someone who performs at the highest level, someone who doesn't allow emotions to command their actions. Emotional control begins with awareness. Winners recognize the first spark of anger before it becomes a fire. They study their patterns, their triggers, and the situations that pull them out of balance. Instead of reacting instantly, they pause, analyze, and decide whether the emotion deserves energy. Most of the time, It doesn't. This simple habit separates reactive people from powerful people. Another secret high performers use is selective focus. They don't waste mental power on what they cannot change. They don't argue with every opinion, respond to every insult, or get involved in pointless conflicts. They choose peace because peace keeps them productive, innovative, and clear-minded. When you stop fighting everything around you, your inner world becomes stronger. And most importantly, high performers understand that anger weakens effectiveness. It clouds judgment, slows thinking, and damages respect. Staying calm isn't softness. It's strategy. It's leadership. It's strength disguised as silence. When you handle problems without losing control, people trust you, follow you, and admire you. Train your emotional control like a muscle. Stay aware. Stay selective. Stay calm. Because the more power you gain over your inner world, the less the outer world can shake you. This is how you rise above anger, forever. Step 5. Replace anger with powerful logic. Paragraph format. Anger is almost always an emotional shortcut your brain takes when it doesn't know what to do. But the moment you introduce logic into a heated situation, the entire emotional storm collapses. Winners don't let anger control their decisions. They use reasoning to cut through the chaos. When something triggers you, your first instinct is emotional, but your second instinct can be logical if you train it. And the second instinct is where your power is. Instead of reacting with "how dare they" or "why is this happening to me," switch the question in your mind to something logical. What's the smartest way to respond? This single shift pulls your brain out of anger mode and into strategy mode. Logic makes your mind stronger than your emotions. When someone speaks to you rudely, logic reminds you that their behavior reflects their inner struggles, not your worth. When life throws challenges at you, logic reminds you that frustration doesn't solve problems. Actions do. When you feel provoked, logic reminds you that reactions give people power over you, but calmness keeps the power in your hands. Every time you choose logic over anger, you are training your mind to see clearly, judge fairly, and act wisely. Think of logic as your shield. It protects your energy from being wasted on meaningless fights. It keeps your focus on goals instead of distractions. It transforms emotional chaos into mental clarity. Master this step, and you'll notice something amazing. Anger stops appearing as your first response. You begin reacting like a leader, calculating your moves, staying grounded, and holding your peace even in difficult moments. That's the intelligence that separates strong minds from weak ones. Step 6. Protect your peace by controlling your environment. Your environment influences your emotions more than you realize. The people you surround yourself with, the places you spend time in, and even the digital noise you consume have the power to either calm your mind or trigger anger. And the truth is simple. You cannot stay peaceful in a chaotic environment. If you constantly expose yourself to drama, negativity, arguments, criticism, or stressful situations, your mind will always be on edge. That's why people who master their anger don't just control themselves, they control what they allow around them. Start by noticing who drains your energy the most. Some people bring chaos everywhere they go. They gossip, complain, blame others, and pull you into their problems. If you want to never get angry again, you must limit your contact with these emotional traps. You don't need to cut them off completely, but you do need to protect your mental space by setting boundaries. Your peace is too valuable to be sacrificed for anyone's noise. Next, clean up your digital environment. Stop consuming content that triggers you emotionally. Unfollow pages that spread negativity, arguments, and conflict. Your mind becomes the content you feed it. Protect it. Finally, create spaces in your life where peace becomes natural. A quiet morning routine, a clean room, a workspace without distractions, or even a few minutes of silence every day can transform your emotional control. You don't eliminate anger by force. You eliminate the things that provoke it. When you build an environment that supports calmness, your mind becomes stronger, clearer, and unshakable. Control your environment and your emotions will follow. Step 7. Learn the power of silence and detachment. One of the most underrated tools in mastering anger is silence. The instinct to react immediately, to argue, to defend, or to lash out is natural. But it is also the gateway to chaos. When you learn to pause, to step back, and simply observe the situation without judgment, you gain control over your emotions. Silence is not weakness. It is strength. It is the space where your mind can process reality instead of being hijacked by impulse. Detachment goes hand in hand with silence. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop letting external events control your inner world. Imagine a situation where someone provokes you. The first instinct is to respond emotionally. But when you practice detachment, you see the situation clearly. The other person's words reflect their state, not yours. You're no longer a puppet reacting to strings pulled by others. This mindset frees you from unnecessary anger and stress, allowing you to maintain clarity and focus. High-performing individuals, leaders, and emotionally intelligent people have mastered this skill. They know that reacting immediately to every provocation only drains energy and limits growth. Instead, they choose silence, pause, and observation. Over time, this practice rewires your brain. Your default reaction shifts from emotional outbursts to thoughtful responses. You become someone who exudes calmness in every situation, someone whose mind cannot be easily shaken. The power of silence and detachment is not just about staying calm, it's about gaining mastery over your life. Every time you pause and detach, you are training your mind to prioritize peace, clarity, and control over temporary emotional satisfaction. And that is the real key to never getting angry again. Step 8. Turn every anger moment into strength. Anger is not just a destructive emotion, it's also a signal, a guide, and a source of hidden power if you know how to channel it. The key is not to suppress it, but to transform it into motivation and strength. Every time you feel that surge of anger, pause and ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? How can I use this energy to improve, solve a problem, or take action? When you learn to redirect anger toward constructive outcomes, it stops controlling you and starts working for you. Think about it. Some of the most successful people in the world have faced frustration, provocation, and anger, but chose to transform that energy into achievement. Instead of lashing out, they used anger as fuel to work harder, think smarter, and act decisively. That is the mindset that turns obstacles into stepping stones. Your anger becomes a teacher, highlighting what matters to you most and where change is needed. The process is simple, but requires practice. The next time you feel triggered, acknowledge the anger without judgment. Then, channel it into a productive action. solve a problem, improve yourself, or make a strategic decision. Over time, your brain rewires itself. The old reflex of destructive outbursts fades, replaced by a deliberate, empowered response. By turning anger into strength, you not only protect your peace but also build resilience and confidence. You become someone who faces life's challenges with clarity and power, never wasting energy on emotional chaos. Remember, anger is not your enemy. It's a tool, and mastering this tool is one of the most powerful steps to never getting angry again. Step 9. Build daily mental habits that keep you calm. Mastering anger is not a one-time effort. It's the result of daily mental habits that train your mind to stay calm, focused, and resilient. Just as physical fitness requires consistent exercise, emotional control demands regular practice. The small, daily choices you make determine whether your mind becomes a reactive storm or a calm, unshakable force. Start with simple yet powerful routines. Begin your day with mindfulness or meditation, even for just 5 minutes. This practice strengthens your awareness and allows you to observe your thoughts without being consumed by them. Journaling is another powerful habit. Writing down your triggers, reactions, and reflections helps you understand patterns in your behavior and gives you clarity on how to respond better next time. Deep breathing exercises, short walks, or even pausing before reacting to emails or conversations can slowly rewire your brain to default to calmness instead of anger. Surround yourself with positive influences that reinforce patience and understanding. Avoid environments or people that constantly provoke or drain you. Protecting your mental space is as important as training your mind. Gradually, these habits compound. You will notice that situations which once triggered anger now barely disturb you. Your mind becomes a fortress, resistant to chaos, and your emotional energy stays focused on growth, productivity, and peace. Remember, building these habits is a journey, not an instant fix. Every conscious effort, every pause before reacting, every moment of reflection strengthens your emotional control. With consistent practice, calmness becomes your default state, and anger loses its grip over you. These daily mental habits are the bridge between temporary composure and permanent mastery over anger. Step 10. Master unshakable inner peace. The final step in never getting angry again is mastering unshakable inner peace. This is not about avoiding life's challenges or pretending problems don't exist. It's about developing a state of mind so strong and centered that external events, provocations, or conflicts no longer control your emotions. True inner peace comes from understanding that your power lies not in controlling the world, but in controlling your reaction to it. Begin by fully accepting that life will always present frustrations, unfairness, and difficult people. Resistance or denial only fuels anger. When you stop fighting reality and instead focus on what you can control, your thoughts, your words, your actions, you reclaim your mental and emotional power. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to practice calmness, patience, and clarity. Meditation, reflection, and conscious breathing reinforce this state, turning calmness into a habit rather than a temporary response. Another key to inner peace is forgiveness, both of others and yourself. Holding grudges or replaying past offenses keeps anger alive in your mind. Letting go doesn't mean weakness. It means liberation. By releasing resentment, you free mental energy, creating space for wisdom, focus, and joy. When you combine self-awareness, discipline, and a commitment to mental habits, you reach a level where anger has no place in your life. You respond with logic, patience, and strategy, instead of impulsive emotion. People around you will notice your calmness, and you will notice the clarity, confidence, and happiness it brings. Mastering inner peace is the ultimate victory. It transforms anger from a constant threat into a distant memory, leaving you strong, centered, and unstoppable. This is the mindset of champions, leaders, and those who truly control their destiny. Take control of your mind. Take control of your life. Anger may feel powerful in the moment, but in truth, it weakens you. It clouds judgment, drains energy, and robs you of peace. The good news is that anger is not something you have to live with. It is something you can master. By understanding your triggers, pausing before reacting, building mental habits, and practicing silence, detachment, and inner peace, you reclaim control over your mind and your life. Every step you take to control anger strengthens your mind, sharpens your focus, and expands your emotional resilience. Each moment of calmness is a victory. Each pause instead of an outburst is a choice that shapes your character, your relationships, and your destiny. The 10 steps we explored are not just techniques, they are a lifestyle. They transform you from someone who reacts impulsively to someone who responds thoughtfully with strength, wisdom, and grace. Imagine living a life where you are unshakable, calm, and confident no matter what the world throws at you. A life where your mind is your greatest weapon and no one can provoke or manipulate you. That life is possible. It begins the moment you decide to master your emotions rather than be mastered by them. Remember, anger loses its power the moment you stop feeding it. Choose calm. Choose control. Choose peace. And, step by step, day by day, you will never get angry again.